What's going on, everybody? Back with another video. So Mark Carney is at it again with his typical shenanigans. So we're going to get into this. Now, before we do, I just have a short clip to show you and something that Andrew Scheer and Pierre Poilievre posted. And before we get into that, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help grow the channel, and I appreciate you guys doing that so much for me. So, Andrew Scheer reposted something from Pierre Poilievre, and it says, "Carney isn't special, he's just another liberal." And Pierre says, since Mark Carney has become Prime Minister, Canada has lost 86,000 jobs. 62 billion in net investment, the fastest shrinking G7 economy, and it has taken him 6 months to write a list of 5 projects to send for further review to get to a new government office that is not even fully staffed. To say he is moving at a snail's pace is an insult to snails, and he's absolutely right. And yes, he came out with some list today about LNG plants and projects, and here's what I'm going to do here. It took him 6 months to come up with a list. Now, people will say to me, Dan, why don't you give him credit for this? He said he was going to do something. Yeah, I don't want him to say something. I want him to do something. 6 months to come up with a 5 project list. There's 5 damn projects on it. 6 months to create a list. And we're supposed to applaud this? If it gets done, and if these projects create jobs, stimulate the economy, then I'll give him all the credit in the world when it happens, if it happens. But not before. I'm not going to give him credit for coming up with a list after 6 months of being in office. That's how little the Liberals are used to getting done. When they come out with a list, they think it's an accomplishment. When they have an office to have meetings to talk about projects that'll be built one day, in the future, sometime, they celebrate it like it's an accomplishment. That's not an accomplishment. It's unbelievable. And then we have something here from Mark Nixon. It says, Carney announced the global trading system has been destroyed, then cracked a hockey joke. Another hockey term. Just like those, I guess they're going to ditch the whole elbows up thing, right? Since he's clearly elbows down. It turned out to be a very stupid slogan. And, liberals, apparently they hate slogans. They complained about it the whole time Pierre Poilievre was running his campaign. But then when their guy comes up with an even dumber slogan, there's no problem with it. Funny how liberals' minds work, isn't it? So let's have a look at this video here. See what this hockey joke is all about. Then we'll talk about it.
This room didn't take the summer off, so it's not really back to school, but September always has that feel. And let's face it, we are in a crisis. We are in a crisis. The global trading system has been upended. Supply chains have been destroyed. McDavid is unsigned. This is not a transition.
What a serious guy. McDavid is unsigned. You just talked about us being in a crisis, and then you show your seriousness by making a dumb joke. And by the way, I really hope he doesn't sign. Just knowing that Mark Carney wants him makes me want him. I don't care where he can go to fucking Utah for all I care. Just please leave Edmonton. It'd be so funny. And then we can see how he wants to make a joke about that. While we're in the middle of a crisis, which is his job to help fix, elbows up, but then he's not going to do anything to fix it. But here's a joke, and not even a good one.
This is a rupture. As in times like these, you have to draw back in. Remember what you have. Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins. We got to draw on those strengths. We got to draw on those values. And Connor, if there's anything that we can do in the upcoming budget. We're spending less, we're going to invest more, so we can bring that cup back to Canada.
And again, bring it back to Canada. Here's the thing. Let's say the Blue Jays win the World Series or a Canadian team wins a Stanley Cup while Donald Trump is in office. Liberal Canadian morons will actually use it as a chance to be like, yeah, take that, Trump. We got ya. As if he gives a rat's ass. I mean, it's so, listen, left-wingers in general are pretty dumb. Canadian left-wingers If you're American and watching this, you think your Democrats and liberals are bad? Come up north and take a gander on the level of stupidity. Walk around downtown Toronto and talk with these people. You'll go back to the States really quick, I promise you. But is anything else here?
Very important.
Very important.
Look, this is the...
And then he stumbles. Okay, great. Yeah, great message. And he wonders why people think he's not a serious leader. Well, maybe it's because he's not. And maybe he comes up with these stupid jokes, again, that are not even funny. If Pierre Poilievre did this, after saying we're in a crisis, what do you think the mainstream media would say? Pierre Poilievre, he's not serious. He just wants to make jokes. And all these left-wing morons like Laura Babcock and Steve Boots would go nuts. But when Carney does it, it's, he's just so funny and delightful. It makes me sick. But again, I've said it before. I will say it again and again and again. Liberalism is not an ideology. He just proved it. There's no ideologies there. It's just, hey, we're in a crisis. Here's a joke. Oh, and by the way, I came up with a list. Am I doing good yet? After saying that he was going to be tough on Donald Trump and that he was going to be judged on the prices of the food at the grocery stores, how are those things going? Not very well, right? Just like we all thought.